thing. So what that right then they have and it's just same thing. It's all on one thermal. Yeah. We need a few things. So we're gonna go new blueprint class, and we're gonna choose an actor component, and I'm gonna name it inventory component. Another thing we're going to need are structures. Okay, so a structure is a collection of data. Okay, so I'm going to go to blueprints here and click on structure. And here I'm going to have an item structure, and if I open it up, oh bear with, annoying problem. Don't worry about this. This is just me, my stupid computer. It's a quick fix. Yep. There you go. So item structure is going to hold all the details of our items. So I'll go back to my previous one here and look at item structure. You can see here, here's a list of all the information on the store about each item. So you want to, this is where the planning comes in. You want to make sure that you've covered everything you need to new variable. A boolean called is stackable. Another one for thumbnail, which is going to be the texture we want. So texture. (2D). We also need a description. And that's going to be some text again. Another variable. We're going to go is consumable. That's a boolean. Another one for max stack size. I'm going to change that to an integer. Another one we're going to have is durability. So maybe you've got some like weapons or something like that. You get in like Minecraft, for example. You want to control how durable they are. We're going to make that a float. What else do we need? Let's go back to. You can see me by the way dancing between these two because it's going to be tough for me to remember everything. Class. That's what we want. What else do we need? Let's go back to weapons or size. I'm going to change that to an integer. Another one we're going to have is durability. So maybe you've got some like weapons or something like that. You get in like Minecraft, for example. You want to control how durable they are. We're going to make that a float. What else do we need? Let's go back to. You can see me by the way dancing between these two because it's going to be tough for me to remember everything. Class. That's what we want. And the class of the item. Oh, we can't do that yet. Oh, we have to actually make the item class. Better choose it. Apologies. So let's make that now. We're going to go blueprint, new blueprint class, actor, and we call this item. Go back to my structure and class here. We can now type in item. And you'll see it, object type. We want to choose not an object reference but class reference. Okay. We're now going to set some default values down below here. So the name I'm going to put in is none. Is stackable can be default on. Description is put none again. I'm going to make it consumable. Max stack size, I'm going to say 4. Durability, I'll leave it 0. And class, I'm going to leave it as none. Okay. And we'll click save. And close that. So let's make some folders up, make it a bit easy for ourselves. Item Move here. So that's item structure. So each item will have that structure. Okay. So to show you that, we're going to our item class, and we're going to set a few things here. So I'm going to set the variable of item structure. And over here we can choose its variable type to be that structure we just made. So we can call it item structure. And there it is. And if I compile it and expand the default values here, you can see I can customize them all for each of the classes. We'll leave that for now. We'll come back to it later. So it's quite a lot of stuff to do. Okay, so inventory component. Let's go into this thing. So the inventory component has some variables itself. So click on plus variable, and we'll give it an inventory name. And we're going to make that some text. And we're going to give it also number of slots. Make that integer. Oh. Because integer is a whole number, so we want to make sure that's a whole number. Inventory name, number of slots, the actual inventory itself. So we can go inventory. Which we have to come back to in a minute and change its type. In fact, we'll do it now. We'll go into the first person example, content browser, and we're going to make another structure. Okay, so the first one is item structure, which contains all the details of each item. The next one is all a slot structure, which contains all the details about each slot in the inventory. So I'm going to right click, blueprints, structure, slot, structure. This one only got two variables. The first one's going to be the item. Structure, we'll just call it structure. And we can type in here, item structure. So that'll be the item we're storing. And the other one would be quantity. So how many of that item are in this slot. Okay. So now we can change this inventory here to that slot structure. And we'll make that an array. It's not just one slot, so it's going to be multiple. So I'm going to change this to an array. By clicking on this little icon here, you can change it to an array. An array is simply a list. So click on there and click compile. Okay. So what else do we need on this one? Let's go back to my previous model and go inventory. Okay, that'll do. Yeah, we'll come back to that later. Okay, so that's like a component. So if I go to my player character and the blueprints here, my first person character, I can now add that component here. So if I go add component, inventory, and give it inventory component. So I'm going to give it a name of the backpack. Number of slots, it's going to give it 16. And we're going to have inventory to start off with. So if you want the player to start off with something in the inventory, you can just click on this plus icon and choose what kind of item you want to have on them. So that'll do there. We'll go back to our content browser. Okay. The next thing we want is an interact interface. Okay, so an interact interface, you can go right click, blueprint interface, and we'll call it interact underscore interface. So what is an interface? Well, an interface is a collection of read-only functions that are common between all classes that use that interface. So the function we're going to have on here will be interact. Compile and close. That's all we have to do. So what we can do with this interface now is set up our item class to use it. Now what's good about this is that you can use interact interface on anything, okay? So any class can use it. So it's quite handy for when you're playing a game and imagine you push the E key. E key does various different things in the game usually. So it could be talk to an NPC, open a door, pick up an item, whatever. That can be all be handled by an interface. So in our item, click on class settings up the top here, and in the details you'll see called interfaces. It says no interfaces currently implemented. So we can click on add and choose that interact interface that we just made. And if I right click anywhere, you can see interact comes up as an event. And that comes from that interface. So it's very useful. And where it comes in more useful is that we can make a call from the first person character to check for any actor that we've interacted with as this interface and to do stuff. Sounds very complicated. It really isn't. So what we're going to do is set up that functionality today, and then I think we'll end it there. So going to go into our project settings, going by edit, project settings, and scroll down to see inputs. So inputs, you have action mappings and access mappings. Action a variety. So on action mappings, and we'll see an action event which is called interact, which is the one we just made. This is not the same as the interface one. Okay. So when we push the E key, this will happen. So, how do we check what we're overlapping and how that works? Okay, so what we'll do is get all the overlapping actors. So get overlapping actors. And class filter, we're going to type in actor to return all the actors that we are currently overlapping. That will return a list or an array. And with that array, we're going to go through each one by one to check whether or not it has an interact function, which our item does. So overlap, we're going to go to for each loop with break. Pressed. And for each loop, break is a loop that will go through all of these items in the array one by one, and until it's completed, or until it's broken, until we take the break. So if I go to loop body, we're going to check the element, this one, whether or not it has a interface. So I'm typing interface, interface, and you'll see once it does implement interface. And you want to choose the interact interface that we made. In, makes it a bit easier. There we go. And we'll take that to a branch and hook it up to loop body. So if we push the interact key, it's going to check all the overlapping actors, and for each one, it's going to go through one by one and say, does it implement the interface of interact? If it does, we're going to break it and tell it to run that interact function, event rather. So from true, we're going to go interact, and you'll see interact message. Choose that, and the target will be this element that we just checked. And then we can loop that right back to the break in the before each loop. I usually like to make this look a bit neater, so it's easy to read. Like so this whole thing here will handle interaction with anything, be it items, doorways, NPCs, whatever. Okay. Click compile, and we go back to our item, and when we interact with it, we're going to simply just destroy it for now, just to see it working. Destroy actor. And compile. So, the next thing we need to do is set up our item here to have a collision, because it has no collision on it, it's just a default scene root. So we can go in here, give it a sphere collision, and we'll scale up a little bit, like so. And we need to be able to see what we're doing, so we're going to give it a static mesh. And the static mesh, I'm going to make the root, so I'm going to drag the static mesh over here. Actually, no, I'm just going to attach it, I'm not going to make it root. And static mesh, I'm going to give it nothing, because this is the parent class. I'm not going to give it any details apart from what it needs to have. Click compile, and close. So with that item, we're now going to make a sub-item, a child class. So right click on item, and you'll see create child